to be happy on the last island before the world falls off the universe.
A clip there from Bannistrand, the first movement in the Casement Sonata, which is a new sonic installation and ambient poem created by Gavin Friday in collaboration with the poet James McCabe. And as you may have picked up from those lyrics, it's an homage to Roger Casement, a man that James and Gavin describe as the most elusive and contentious figure behind the Easter Rising. Gavin Friday is with me now. That's quite a statement to make about that man. How elusive is he?
He, to me, what I find very attractive about the man is he is this sort of defiant outsider. As a young kid, I'm old enough to remember before nationalism became a dirty word with the Troubles. I remember going to the 50th anniversary of the Rising
in 1966.
Yeah, as a little boy, and. Casement, he was there, but he was never really there. It was more the Pearce and the Conleys, and the stations were called after these big guys. And he was a road in Northside Dublin 11, Casement Park. Now, I know there are other things, and they didn't bring back the body till 65, but he was always this sort of outsider that was like different. He was also sort of a Sir. He was part of the dignified sort of British. He worked for the British Empire.
And the story that you tell throughout, it's across 5 different sections really. And we start with Bannistrand, which is that moment in the Rising. What does that moment tell us about where Roger Casement was on the eve of the Easter Rising, 1916?
He was in prison. He was in blackness. There's an extraordinary book called The Dream of the Celt, written by a South American man called Mario Vargas Llosa. And, this man spent a lot of time in Peru as well as Congo. This book, it starts in blackness. I mean, Bannistrand was Good Friday. They arrested him. Somebody leaked that he was coming in a U-19 submarine. And if you see the images of it, it looks like 4 metal bins with a load of 20,000 arms he'd convinced the Germans to give him. He knew how to smuggle guns because the Belgian Empire and the Brits smuggled arms into Peru and Congo for other reasons. So he became a volunteer and brought in these arms. Bannistrand was the moment where he realised, okay, game over for me, Good Friday. The Rising on the Sunday, or the Easter Monday, he didn't know. He was arrested. And in the book, The Dream of the Celt, it opens in blackness. And he didn't know until his trial started. Did the Rising happen? He didn't know. He didn't know that they executed the leaders of the Rising in Dublin. And he didn't know that they exposed his black diaries all over the press, the Times. He didn't know all of this until he got out for the trial. So, I mean, the man was in limbo. And we take that on, this sort of death-pending limbo when he hits Bannistrand. And then we go into flashback to Congo and Peru.
So the way then that yourself, Gavin, and poet James McCabe approached this, James, did he set you out, would give you the set of lyrics and then you worked the music into it? How did the collaboration actually play out?
It was a strange thing in that myself and James have been working together. I mean, James is based in Munich, in Germany, and he, for some coincidence, he went to the same school. He's from the same area as me, and he contacted me about 2-3 years ago, throwing different projects at me, and we're developing a few different projects, like one for theatre, some soundtrack stuff. We're even talking about little novels. So it was this working relationship. During last year, something in me went, I want to do something for the centenary of the Rising. I think I'd have to ask the Fanon O'Hanava, which is my baptismal name, why, but I wanted, and I wasn't engaging with what was going down here. I was running away from O Roche de Vahawalya, running away fast, and I wanted to pick something, and when I heard that people like the Hugh Lane were taking Casement, and I went, that's the guy, and I'd become quite enamoured with him. So I threw that idea out there, and myself and James sort of ping-ponged. It's sort of writing would happen, then I would add, he would take, and then we'd go in and write and record. So we were making it up as we were going along.
You said there that, that one of the things that we start on Bannistrand and then you go into, flashback, if you like. And you look back at the life of Casement as very much, a stalwart of the British Empire initially. He was a knight, in fact, wasn't he?
He was a knight and a sir, and it was when he went there, I mean, he did not know what he was going to experience.
Particularly in the Congo you're talking about.
Congo and Peru, I mean, the narrative really goes there. But this man basically set the train tracks for Amnesty International, and was like printing these reports worldwide. And I don't think they were too happy. I think them knighting him and embracing him was almost like, come in, shut up, come in. And then he turned around and he says, well, there's no way around this. Empire is evil. And look what they're doing to my own hometown, my own country. And that's where he went, goodbye. And he became an Irish volunteer.
I want to listen to a section from the Congo part of the sonata. What was the sort of the overall emotion in forming this, if you like?
I think first of all, the exoticness. Because, an Irishman, even though he was a very learned and travelled Irishman, going to the Congo, alone, but it also stirred up certain things. It stirred up his sexuality, where he was a repressed homosexual, and then became an active homosexual with certain men in the Congo. So we're dabbling in a few things here.
Fade in the path a newsreel of your past life. Crossing the dark heart of Africa like a merkin in the garden of Ireland. Your dogs scamper across the screen as you take a stroll between the lived and the dreamt. The lived and the dreamt. Adam, unparadised. I am ashamed of my own skin and colour, if I tell the truth. The ibis, the hippo, and the pelican still make an appearance. But the place is a ruin. The place is a ruin.
Section there from the Congo movement within the Casement Sonata that Gavin Friday and poet James McCabe have. I suppose it's an installation that you've made for the Hugh Lane Gallery. What exactly will we see and hear if we go to the gallery, Gavin?
When you'll hear the whole piece, which is 58 minutes long, you will see certain graphics that I've put up and visual imagery. Worked with the photographer Barry McCall, and I worked with a graphics guy called Redman, aka. I wanted the piece to be quite meditative, so it's seated, so you can see it, but I painted the whole room blue, One of the last words the man wrote in his diaries it's one of the quotes. We took a lot of the quotes from his diaries. Death is not dark, only a deeper blue. And we took that and we made the room, we started visually to make it blue, and then we had sort of various images taking on the mosquito and the butterfly, the sort of the vampire empire, the mosquito, the bloodsucker, and then the beauty, the trapped beauty of the butterfly. So it's playing, but almost like touchstones to open up. Really, this is a movie for the head, but there's no visuals.
Having got to the end of the project and all of that you've described to us there, what did you say the baptismal name was again? Fionn?
Well, in Gaeilge good.
So Fionn O'Hanva, O'Hanva. So is Fionn O'Hanva, is he any happier? Do you think he understands Casement any better now than he did earlier on in his life? And does Gavin Friday understand him better after this?
Absolutely, he nearly killed me. I nearly ended up in the Congo. The opening line of the whole piece is "I am Roger Casement." So I reached into not only the musician and the sound composer, but also the actor in me. So I went there, and a lot of the way we performed it, I wanted it quite sort of spontaneous, so they were like live takes in theatre when we were recording it, rather than take two of the vocal. So, yes, I think I wore his suit for a few months, yes.
Gavin Friday there talking to me about the Casement Sonata, and you can see and hear, experience that Casement Sonata at Dublin City Gallery, the Hugh Lane. It starts at 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Tuesdays through until Sunday, and it's there until the 21st of August, and that will include the anniversary of Roger Casement's execution, which is the 3rd of August. HughLane.ie is the web.